My name's Carl. I'm the game director on Hometopia. The first one we released, we called Hotfix 1. This is Update 1 because it's not a hotfix and it's much bigger. Update 2, which is the next one, that will be the big optimization. It'll be a completely separate game mode. It'll basically say Career Sandbox. It's like the land catalog. You'll get a menu that's like the land catalog. It'll let you pick a plot size, pick a land. You'll be able to launch multiplayer directly from that menu. If you have any previously saved sandboxes, you can load it from that menu. Once that's done, it's like you bought a land in career mode, but you have unlimited money and everything's unlocked. Multiplayer is buggy in a couple of ways, primarily with jobs, but there are things that if players do the same thing, sometimes they get kicked out of the game. It's sort of a complicated reason why that's happening, and it requires some rework. We're going to restructure the way players connect to one another to prevent these conflicts where people get kicked. I would say the audio in the game is very sparse. So we're having an audio designer come through and just basically just give him the game and say, anything that needs sound, add sound. So we'll have all the like, you know, like all the stuff that feels good. So the campaign map where the job icons, it's going to be like a really nice looking map that with actual terrain and you know, it'll match the style of the game. Not only that, but we need to change the map. We need to have it where it sort of has this like city builder vibe. As you're building the community, you see like the city pop up, and whenever you complete a community, that community is visually represented on the map. Communities is not about building houses. It's about building restaurants and art galleries and museums and laundromats. And it's supposed to kind of come in after you go through the original like house renovation stuff as like the next level. Now you're a developer. And instead of just renovating one house, you're building lots of buildings. And by the way, here's a bunch of new items that you can use that you haven't seen before. And it's fun and exciting and all that stuff. Right now, all we do when you level up is we unlock items. But what we want it to be is that you can get titles, you can get profile pictures, you can get new emotes for your avatar. Like, we want to really unlock more stuff. We want more fanfare, more like, I really can't wait till I get to the next level because I want this profile pic. Or then you have your customizable player card, which you take all of the stuff that you unlocked to assemble. We have a revamp in the UI that anytime you're in multiplayer, you show that off. So like when you're in the lobby, you'll show the player card. When you're chatting, little like your player profile shows up in the chat, and it'll look kind of like texting your friends back and forth. You just kind of see it everywhere. So I think it'll make multiplayer more fun and interesting, and it'll give people a sense of progression and a sense of accomplishment, like as they're moving through career mode. Our building system is a big one. The highest thing on my wish list is the roofing system. A revamp of that to get much more variation in our roofs in a much less buggy way. A whole variety of system reworks that we want to do that supports the scalability of the game. The client overhaul is I kind of feel like, as far as what we have right now for clients, it's a very kind of early access client. It sort of does the bare minimum. But what we really want is clients to feel very naturalistic, very different from one another, with just sort of a lot of variety and a lot of kind of a naturalistic sense of intelligence, like the way they evaluate the job that you did and give you a score for that. I want it to feel much more naturalistic than it does right now. So there's a lot that's going to go into that. There's going to be many more preferences. There's going to be many more sort of traits that define that character's personality. The way you do the job is going to be evaluated much more intelligently. It will feel more rewarding to do jobs for clients because it'll feel more interesting and nuanced, as opposed to like, I just know I need to hit these specific requirements and I'll get a good one. If I don't, I'll get a bad one. I know, for example, I've seen things on Discord, people saying, oh, I try to change the door and it also changes the doorknob. Those are the things that we're fixing, is like making sure that each item has like different parts that can be customized, and that the customizations that you can do is sort of like looks intentional. Let's say you have a really low quality couch. You can reupholster the couch to make it a high quality couch. But it's for a client who has expensive taste. You could turn that low quality couch into a high quality couch to accommodate that client's taste, and also for yourself. Like, you might really like the way a couch looks stylistically, but you really want to change the fabric and all that. The cars and pedestrians, yeah, we want all these neighborhoods to feel lively and lifelike and interesting. And so, for example, in Midtown Heights, we want lots of cars and taxis and buses and people walking around, that sort of thing. In the suburban neighborhoods, you know, we want like kids playing and, you know, people walking and that sort of thing. So we want to start with a lot of community involvement in the game. The first idea that we've been thinking of is essentially having challenges where players build houses according to certain themes. The winners of these contests have the images as part of the game for a period of time, a month or however long. We want to have a series of kind of ongoing community challenges that actually integrates them into the game experience itself. Lots of interesting challenges and ways for the community to participate in the game that we can also integrate into the game. And we have our multiplayer experience feeling very stable and very like we can handle lots of stuff. Building is one part of it. Co-op building is one part of it, but also co-op play is another part. How about you had a ping pong table in your house and then you can play ping pong with a friend? That would be really fun. What if you had a car and you can drive it around a neighborhood? That would be really fun. Like, it doesn't even have to necessarily be co-op interaction. It could be single player interaction, but essentially stuff that lets you do stuff and have fun doing it. If you're playing Midtown Heights, for example, like I want to walk around the park and I want to explore a little bit. I especially want to do that in the terrain. Mountain terrain is so awesome. Like what we actually took down the collision and just like actually walked out there. And I was like, this is actually really cool. Imagine if there were like birds and foxes and, you know, stuff you could collect and bring back to your house. What if you found like a cool shell by the lake and you could display that shell in your house? This could be a whole new experience. Like you build a house in the woods and then you go explore the woods, you know, and you can build other little sheds here and there. We could do that in the future. And I think that's something that would be really, really fun. Granted, this is a future feature. This isn't something anytime like right around the corner or anything. When I think about the future of Hometopia, that's what I'm thinking about. Terraforming is something we cannot support right now with our current our terrain system, but I would love to be able to support that in the future. Anyway, we want to be able to expand onto other platforms. I think starting with controller support, making sure that you can play on a controller, you can play on Steam Deck. I mean, I think this is the kind of game that people would enjoy playing on PS4 or Xbox. That's something that we want to talk about in the future. And then, yeah, Mac support as well. I mean, we have obviously far fewer Mac players than PC players, but there are definitely Mac players who want to play the game. It's something I would like to support going forward, yeah.